Suero got roughed up yesterday. They lost that one. On Saturday, Strasburg, who was phenomenal in the month of July, just got shelled. I think as a team, they ended up giving up 5 homers. Was it 17 runs that they allowed?
18
runs. I just know Brian Dozier came in to pitch.
Brian Dozier and Parra both pitched in the same inning.
Yes.
And give up 7 runs.
I think Dozier, did he walk 4 guys or 5 guys? Take a look at the box score. It's laughable. But, these things happen from time to time.
Well, again, why were they pitching?
Because
it was 11-4.
They didn't want to waste their regular pitchers.
Michael Morris actually criticized Davey for doing it. He said, basically, when you do that, you're just giving up. Yeah, you are, but it was the 7th inning. It was 11-4.
Right.
He just wanted to save the bullpen, and it happens. But you obviously have no shot at winning that game or coming back.
By the way, do you think
how many
those
teams
guys
are coming back from 7 down?
Do you think they're terrified when Davey says, hey, get out of the mound. We need whatever you got.
No, I
think
they
love it.
I think they're looking forward to, because a lot of these guys probably were pitchers way back in the day.
So they're doing a glory days bit.
They're probably having some fun.
Getting back up on the mound.
I think it was Dozier. Do you have the box score in front of you?
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up.
I think he walked like 4 or 5 guys and ended up giving up like 5 earned runs. His ERA is not looking too good. I think Parra closed it for the Nationals on Saturday night. But look, the larger point is this, and I'm wondering if Nats fans are concerned. The Nats are in position right now for a wild card. They have the same record as the Phillies. I think they're a half game back of the Cardinals.
By the way, Parra is the one who walked 4 guys.
Okay, so it was Parra. My bad. I flipped Parra and
Dozier allowed a couple hits and 2 runs, but it was Parra who allowed the 5 runs on 4 walks and a hit.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, so Parra was
So
there.
I flipped him.
So he has control issues.
Anyway, that's an insignificant issue. The significant issue, I think, is you're looking at the last 10 games, they've lost 7 out of 10, and they've lost 4 out of 5. They lose the series to the Dodgers. They lose the series to the Braves. They lose this series to the Diamondbacks. Are you worried about this team? And if so, why? To me, the number one thing is Max. You need Max Scherzer in there.
You need him. You're playing tougher teams.
I understand that, like last week when EB and I were talking about this before the trade deadline, and we talked about it afterwards, he was like, "Oh, they lost some series, they lost some close games." I mean, it's baseball. You're going to lose close games. It's part of it.
Doesn't matter how you lose or what the score is.
And he's like, "Oh, they must know something. They know more than we do. Max is going to be back." Okay, I will concede they always know more than we do. But they also brought Max back for a start against the Colorado Rockies after his stint on the injured list. He pitched a little more than 5 innings, and he was back on the injured list after.
He was rusty. It would concern me that you're going to go out and play San Francisco starting tonight, and Fetty and Ross are going to have to pitch in that series. And these are all must-win games. Now, Fetty and Ross might pitch lights out. Who knows? Ross was really good in his last start. But it would always concern me when you're pitching guys like Fetty and Ross in games on the road where you have to win.
800-610-67. Nats are, it's 2 months away from the playoffs. The Nats are in position to win a wild card. They're now 7 back of the Braves. For a brief moment, it looked like they might creep on the Braves. Had they won that swing game against the Braves, they would have closed the gap to 4.5. Instead, they lost. It dropped to 6.5, and they're now 7 back of the Braves.
Yep.
Braves aren't tanking. They're not going anywhere. They've been playing great baseball.
Braves are really good.
But for the wild card, they're in position, but there are a bunch of teams jockeying for position. So what troubles you about this team the most?
Well, obviously the Max injury is number one. Kendrick now goes on the injured list, and they lost one of the 3 relievers that they picked up before the deadline. So you got 3 pretty big injuries there, but Max is number one. If you can have Max in every series or pretty close to every series, especially games against the divisional opponents, then you feel pretty good if you can go Max, Strassi, and Corbin. But I don't know when he's going to be back.
Yeah, they eyeing him coming back when they're back at Nats
I think
Park?
that was the intent.
I hope,
You said you never know.
You got to hope. But
that IL is like a 10-day injured list?
Yep.
Yeah, so he might be ready to go next series.
But look, it's not like you're 4 games back of the wild card. You're right there. You're tied for the second wild card spot, so you can still win it. And this is just the product of Major League Baseball. Peaks and valleys. Hot for 50 games, and now they're struggling a little bit, and it coincides with the injury. But let's see how they play in San Francisco, and then when they go to play the Mets.
See, the thing is, the Nats.
Hopefully Max is back for. You would hope he's back for that Mets series, if not the Cincinnati series.
I think the Nats did become a better team by adding the 3 bullpen arms.
Okay,
and Strickland, I know, performed well in his first outing. But the other teams also got better.
Sure.
The Phillies added a starter.
Atlanta probably got better arms. So, let's see what happens.
I think Green has struggled for them so far.
Okay.
But he's an all-star and joined the team with like a 1.3 ERA.
Right. And the Braves have they're going to win the division. They got a really good lineup. They got really a great balance of young players and vets. And they've got a good manager, and they're going to be tough to beat. But now, like I said, every game is big because there's probably 5 or 6 teams battling for those 2 spots. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. It kind of depends on when Max comes back. When he comes back and he's healthy, see, that's the other thing. You don't know if he's going to be 100% when he comes back. I know they say they're not going to rush him, but he came back and he was rusty, and then he got hurt again when he pitched against Colorado.
I think they're more than likely to be a wild card team, but I don't have a ton of confidence.
No, I mean, you still have, Milwaukee, Arizona's right there. The Giants, who they have a series with, are 2.5 out of the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
So if they go out and drop 2 games against the Giants in this series, then all of a sudden the Giants are breathing down their necks too. So
800-636-1067. Do you think the Nationals are okay? Still win a wild card team or become a wild card team? I am having more doubts. Like I said, a couple weeks ago when we went around the studio, I had the Nats in. And now I'm thinking, man, you play the Dodgers. And it is without Max. That's the caveat. But you play the Dodgers, you lose 2 out of 3. You play the Braves, you lose 2 out of 3. Just went to Arizona, lost 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now that they're playing the better teams, and we knew that. Look, you played the schedule in front of you, but we knew when they were winning, they were feasting on some
we knew the schedule.
They were playing, the Marlins. They were playing
the
Dregs.
Tigers.
Right.
The Royals were in the mix there.
Right.
All bad teams, all bottom feeders.
Right. And you have to win those games, and they were winning those games. But now that they're playing the tougher competition, all of a sudden you're losing series. You've lost 7 out of 10. Definitely troubling in my mind.
It is, but they can still make up for it. And starts tonight, 9:45 start. Fetty and Samardzija. Sanchez going in the second game, then Ross in the third. Depends on what happens with Strauss.
But you're a betting man,
Max.
so that means
Strasburg will pitch in the first game against the Mets, who are hot now too. They've won 9 of 10.
But this is a betting man. Giants probably favored in 2 out of 3 games already.
Probably, yep. On the road, they're right there in the mix. They decided not to be sellers.
The Nats have to be dogs every time Fetty and Ross are on the mound. These are. And I know Ross pitched well on Friday night.
Yep, I agree. But I don't think that, you know what, I don't know if Nats fans are concerned about it. Maybe they had high expectations considering the schedule they played and how hot they were over a 50-game stretch. But, you still play some beatable teams. I mean, you really do. San Francisco's very beatable. The Mets aren't going to stay that hot. Then you come home, you play the Reds. Now, you're probably going to have to face Bauer in that series, but then you get Milwaukee. Milwaukee's been up and down. Get Pittsburgh after that. So they got some winnable series coming up. But you got to get Max back. If Max doesn't come back anytime soon, they're going to drop even more ground.
Yeah.
What hasn't changed for the Nats is that Anthony Rendon is still on a heater, and his value just keeps going up and up and up at this point. And I think any chance they had of just retaining him without him hitting free agency, I think that's pretty much done.
Yeah,
those chances are gone.
That ship has sailed. He talked to Grant and Danny last week, and he basically said, without saying specifically, I want to see free agency.
Yeah. He said he's basically
There's something about a car lot.
Yeah,
I can't remember the exact.
He's gonna go do some shopping.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you if you're Anthony Rendon? Of course you would.
I give the Nats about a 10% chance of resigning Rendon in the offseason.
That's pretty grim.
Yeah.
Well, Nats fans are going to be really pissed. They will be really pissed if that happens. I'll tell you that much.
What would you lay the percentage at?
I don't know.
I would give it better than 10.
Okay,
I'd say right now, 25%, 25 to 30%.
Okay, that's not a super optimistic
It's way
take.
better than 10.
It is.
It depends on what he wants. If he wants to stay here and wants to play here
I don't think
and
he
likes
cares.
the city, then you got a great chance of retaining him. But if he's just like Bryce and wants to go for the highest bidder, then you got no shot because they're not going to be the highest bidder.
I mean, he's batting .316. He's got 78 runs scored, 24 ding-dongs, and 85 RBI.
No, he's top 5 in the MVP race.
Yeah.
Like, it'll probably go to Yelich or Bellinger in the National League, but Rendon's up there.
Having a great year.
In the contract year,